Hello, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? Hope you are doing well. I am fine. What a week I had. Oh, it's a great week. Yes, we did miss the Cincinnati game, but I can't believe how bad they looked. I mean, Chase played, caught 6 balls. It wasn't Chase didn't play. The defense, their coach needs to get fired. They're letting New England ball control you. So that was the only big loser I had yesterday. Otherwise, it was a great day. Let's go through my picks. Well, of course, we start with gold. Gold was about 2,500. 24.94. 24.94 coming down at 10 o'clock. The U.S. still trying to do derivatives. Like they haven't figured out what Brooks is doing yet. So let's go down through the scores. And we'll go through the picks at the same time. So we start Thursday, KC 27, Baltimore 20. We play the under 46.5. So we go under 52, 53. And there's your first winner. Now in the trends, Baltimore was 7-1 as a road dog. Now they're 8-1 as a road dog. This is just last year. KC's a good home favorite and a bet against home favorite as they win the games close because that's what Mahomes does. Green Bay Phillies, a road game in Brazil. We got over under 40. What do I got? About 48.5. I go over 42.5 and an easy win. Philly wins 34-29. I guess Jordan Love gets hurt near the end of the game. That's why I couldn't figure out why Willis threw the pass. I thought they would have the Tulane quarterback. He's much better than Willis. But so we got to keep an eye on Jordan Love, and it better not be Willis who comes in. They need to go to the Tulane guy. So 2-0. Pitt 18-10 over Atlanta. I don't play the game because of Russell Wilson. He didn't play, and Fields played. And this is the difference. Fields couldn't score a touchdown. They had 6 field goals, but their defense played great. I also like the under 42, under 48. Again, without knowing Russell Wilson, I wanted to see. I didn't play the game. Cousins looked like Cousins. What, he had 2 or 3 picks, fumbles, typical Cousins game. I don't know why they didn't play him in the preseason. Oh, they didn't want to get him hurt. Oh, so you just forfeited one game, 18-10 to Pittsburgh, who couldn't score a touchdown on you. And it's not because your defense. It's because they had Fields. This is Fields' problem. He wants to run. He can't get touchdowns. And this is Cousins' problem. Way too many turnovers, especially against a good defense. So didn't play the game, but I did like Pitt in the game. Buffalo, Arizona. Buffalo 34, Arizona 28. I have the over and a big teaser. Was 46, 47, so I'm over 41. It was a joke. Buffalo almost gets it by themselves. So they play a 62, and I'm in the 40s. Love those games. Now, the key to the game, Arizona's 27 defense. And whatchamacallit, Josh Allen's going to light that up, and he did. But you knew Kyler Murray was going to light up Buffalo like he did. So 34-28 Buffalo. Notice how the line's 6.5. This is why we don't fuck with the lines. This is why we play teasers. Was it fixed? Probably. But we don't care. So 34-28. This is why we go over unders. This is why we play teasers. We get the win. It was a much easier over 40. That was a joke. Tennessee, Chicago. Caleb threw for 95 yards. I was proud of him. Now he looked like shit. The only reason they won, now Tennessee's got a 17-0 lead. Now, this is how stupid Will Levis is. He's getting sacked, so he throws a pick six. Instead of just falling on the ball, he flips the ball, I guess, trying to get it out of bounds, right to a Bear in for a touchdown. The Bears score on a pick six and a block punt. That's 14 of their points. They scored 24. I think it was another turnover for the other. Caleb did nothing. I was watching the replay, and the guy starts talking about, oh, now he looks like he's at USC. He threw like 3 little 5-yard passes, little outs, short outs to DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, and it was like, yeah, just like USC, sure. Keep promoting him. Anyway, those for 95 yards. Like I said, week 1, he's not going to be ready. He won't be ready to week 6. He's not very good. And this is Tennessee's defense. I think they sacked him 5 times, 4 times. Wasn't a pretty sight. Tennessee, Will Levis, they should have won the game if Will Levis doesn't have his head up his ass, realizes they're winning. They were winning 17-16 at the time. Take your fucking sack. You're winning the game. Think about the game. No, he thinks about himself. I need to get rid of the ball. Why do you need to get rid of the ball? Take the sack. It's okay. You're winning the game. It's at midfield. No, you give up a pick six. The only way they can beat you, because Caleb can't do anything. So what are they fucking doing? This is the problem with these quarterbacks. Will Levis sucks. Caleb, not any better. How do you throw for 95 yards? New England, Cincy, this is our loser. We had Cincy. I had him as a 10-point favorite. Chase plays. Burrow plays. Higgins didn't play. Didn't matter. Their defense was terrible. They let Brissett just dink and dunk. Like, why aren't you fucking blitzing this guy? Terrible coach. They need to fire this coach. There's no excuse. You can't lose to a guy who has no quarterback, no receivers, no defense, and he's never coached before, and you only get 10 points. I don't know. I would think they're going to be pretty pissed this week, and they get to go to Kansas City, and I don't know. I don't think I could touch it with a 10-foot pole. Very disappointing. If Burrow, not that he looked, I mean, it was their defense. And they really didn't have a running back, so they lose Mixon, who I never thought was a great running back. And they placed him with Zach Moss, really? And this is a big problem. So we have Chase playing, but until they find a defense and a coach, they're in big trouble. So I don't know. We'll have to lay away from Cincinnati for a while. This is the problem when you don't play your players in preseason. I heard Tom Brady. I was watching a little of the Dallas game, and Tom Brady goes, well, this is week 1. You're trying to analyze the players. They didn't play. No. You're supposed to do that in the preseason, not play your 4th string. You're supposed to play your starters and analyze them then and fix it and get ready for week 1. Not don't play anybody in the preseason, and then week 1 comes and you go, oh, I don't know what I have. That was the stupidest comment I ever saw. Brady sounded like shit yesterday. Just get off. Don't do broadcasting, because you're going to look like an idiot with those comments. And I'm not watching a game because of Brady. Jesus Christ, what a joke. Houston, Indy. So we'll keep an eye on Cincinnati. We know Burrow's playing. It's just very confusing that this coach is this stupid. Why didn't you play your defense? Why don't you play your players in preseason? That's what preseason's for, is to get your players ready for week 1. Then I was listening to Chris Collinsworth in the Lions game. He said, well, the players are tired now. It's the 4th quarter. All the players are tired because they didn't play in the preseason. Okay, why didn't they play in the preseason? They don't want to get hurt. Well, you're hurting all your players they're not in shape, you idiot. So you're going to lose week 1 because you don't want to get your players hurt. This is the way you run your company? Wow, amazing. All right. Indy 2.5, 49.5. I didn't like a play here. I can't trust Stroud. I can't trust Richardson. I did think it would be over because I think both defenses suck. And I was right. They played 56. Over under was 40. Geez, 49, I think. So look an under 43. Like I said, I didn't play all the games, but I could have. I could have played Pitt and or the under, and I could have played this game over. I wouldn't have trusted either team. That's the problem. I can't trust Stroud or Richardson, so you can't really. Who do you bet on? So then you could bet the over, which again I thought was the prudent play. Jacksonville, Miami. I lose this one. I actually, it's 20-17 Miami. What the fuck happened? And my over-under was 49. I'm going over 43. And they scored 37. So I needed one more touchdown. Pretty sad. Again, this is, and Tyreek Hill played well. Waddle played well. They just didn't score because Dag doesn't know what to do. So very, very weak score. This is a week one game like the Cincinnati. They both weren't ready and just fire the coaches because you're losing games because of you're not prepared. It'd be like me walking into a test in my master's program and not studying for it. Well, I didn't want to get tired, so I'm just going to take the test without studying for it. That's what these idiots did. You don't play anybody in the preseason so they won't get hurt. What the fuck is that? That works in baseball where the guy pitches on every 5 days and 100 pitches and every pitcher in the league's hurt. Yeah, that works well. All right, what should have been my lock, I wasn't, but this is I talked about this a lot in class yesterday. New Orleans 3.5, 41.5. Young against Carr. I say Young sucks. He's not going to get any better. 47-10 New Orleans, and I'm like, fuck. I had him in a big teaser. I had New Orleans, but I think I had him with Green Bay over. But I'm like, what the fuck did I not? This should have been the lock because I had New Orleans 7, which I thought was low. And who the fuck's betting on Carolina? See, this is the problem now. People are betting without knowing what the fuck they're doing. They're betting on Carolina. So this line went from, I guess, 5 down to 3.5. That's a lot of money on Carolina. Were you expecting Steve Young to get better all of a sudden? Was it Magic Beans from Jack and the Beanstalk? I was watching my cousin Vinny. What did you think he was going to do? He's not good. There is no switch that now he's good. He stinks. He still stinks. He's going to stink at the end of the year. He's going to stink if they keep him next year. Until they realize they fucked up and drafted, who's their backup? Plummer. Plummer was good at Louisville. I think he played a little at Purdue. Young can't play. He's not good. At what point are you going to realize it? You just lost 47-10 to New Orleans, who has a very good team this year. Don't kid yourself. But this is where you stay stoic. I knew New Orleans was going to kill them. I knew it. And it was a big teaser I had. But, and that's what's frustrating. I choose Cincinnati instead of New Orleans. Burrow and Chase, they're mad. They lost. And they're playing New fucking England, right? The worst team in the league, except for Carolina, who's the worst team in the league. So most weeks we'll just be going, who's Carolina playing? And we'll bet against them. Now they're 18-0 bet against since Steve Young's there. Obviously, he doesn't get it. He's in way over his head and just keep betting against them. Minnesota and the Giants. Minnesota was a 1.5-point favorite. I don't know why. Darnold against Jones. I don't know why they didn't go to DeVito. 28-6 Minnesota. I have the under in the game. As I commented, read between the lines, games with no quarterbacks have no points. Now, Minnie somehow scored 28, probably on pick sixes or something from Jones. What is Jones doing in the league? And you didn't play him in the preseason to get him ready. Another good move. The coach should be fired here, too. What are you thinking? You got Daniel Jones. He sucks. Anybody needs time in the preseason, it's Daniel Jones. No, you know who gets the time? Mahomes got time. Burrow got time. But no, not Daniel Jones. We don't want to get him hurt. You want him to play? 28-6. You want him out there? Chase Young didn't play. You want or Bryce Young didn't play. You want him out there scoring you 10 points? That's the guy you want. No, you want him injured because you needed an excuse to get him off the fucking field. So again, a huge mistake by the coach. So I have Minnesota under. My other lock, Oakland, San Diego. Oakland wins 22-10. Over under was 43 when I bet it. Goes down to 40. I locked the under. I go under 40. I think it was 49 at the time. Again, I'm posting my game. Like today, I'm going to post, and the line's going to move. That's why I suggest you buy my picks early, although you can't buy them till tomorrow. But if you buy today, I can give you the picks I'm going to play, which are mostly totals. I'm not really worried about the point spread jumping, but I am worried about the totals. As you can see, it went from 43 to 40. And this is going to come into play in the Detroit game where I had the over and just sneaked in. So this is lock 2, Cincinnati with Oakland. I also played Oakland in another teaser. Again, the locks go into teasers because I love the game. So, yeah, I lost 2 teasers with Cincinnati, but I won 2 teasers with Nebraska, 2 teasers with Michigan, Texas under, and 2 teasers with Oakland under. Oakland under, San Diego gets 22. Herbert looks pretty good. Minshew looks pretty bad. He did hit Brock Bowers a few times. I don't know. I got to watch the YouTube on this one. Where San Diego scored, a lot of these points are coming off of a pick 6 or something. So it's not their offense is good or the other team's defense isn't good. When you get pick 6s, you get pick 6s. So again, lock the under, win. Denver, Seattle, I don't play. I want to see Knicks. I liked Denver in 12.5. I thought was a joke. And I liked over 35. I thought was a joke. Both won, just like the Pittsburgh game, but I wanted to see. Bo Nix looked okay. He got a late touchdown for us to cover, 26-20. Seattle's just what I thought. They could score, but their defense still sucks. Denver, they'll work on their defense. It's Bo Nix. Austin didn't play much for Notre Dame guy. So I think Bo Nix, it was good. He should have gotten a lot more time in the preseason. He did play the one game. Again, idiot coaching. What the fuck are you doing? These guys, you can't just put them in the first week and think they're going to light it up. Caleb should have played all 3 games in the preseason, at least the first half. You're getting them ready. It's the same thing. It's studying for a test. How the fuck can you study for the test? Go study for the bar, for law. Yeah, or in my master's for finance without studying. Go take the test without studying. See how you do. Unbelievably stupid coaching. We don't want to get him hurt. Oh, okay. And then you don't want to win either. Now, Denver, if this is week 6, Denver probably wins. Bo Nix has the field, but Denver gave away a game here. Dallas 33, Cleveland 17. I have under 50. I push. Cleveland gets a late touchdown. It was 33-10. Micah Parsons had a big game. Prescott against Watson. Had I known Watson was playing, I would have bet Dallas. Watson's terrible. He looked like crap. Really 10 points. He gets the late touchdown when they're tired. So I get a push on it again. It was 44 when I bet it. It went down to 41.5. So you got to be careful on that. But at the certain point, I like it under. At 41, I don't like it under as much as I like it at, 44 is 50. It's over 7 touchdowns. So get a push there. Washington, Tampa, the only other one I don't play. Tampa minus 3.5, 42.5. They win 37-20. Daniels and Baker had a good game. Tough defense for Tampa. Tampa looked pretty good. Washington defense sucks. Daniels is okay. Should have played more in the preseason, but, that was ridiculous. And then the last game, Detroit, LA. Detroit went up to 5.5, 52.5, which is big. Yeah, I had the game over. I liked the Rams and I liked it over. And I said, well, I didn't. Puka got hurt or we would have won easy. So I'm sitting there watching the game at 17-3. I'm like, oh, fuck. Then I go, well, the only way I can win this, it went 17-10, and then it went 17-13. And I say to myself, the only way I can win this, I got to go 20-20. I got to go overtime and get a touchdown. So Rams go 2017. The Lions kick the field goal at the end. It didn't score the touchdown, thank God. So it's 2020. We go to overtime, and the Lions win 26-20. I'm over 45 on my play. It was a big lock. It wasn't a lot. It was a big play with Buffalo over. And so I win it by a point. Again, the line did move, but it was 51 most of the week. So you would have had a 45, depending on when you bet it. So I could see this game was going over, but Puka was hurt. If he's not hurt, this goes way over. The Lions got tired because they didn't play anybody in the preseason. Goff looked like Goff, threw a couple interceptions, and they were sacking him because they knew if you blitz Goff, he looks terrible, and he looked pretty bad when I watched him. Again, 17 in the first half and then 3 in the second half. And a pick. Should have been another pick. Might look like a Super Bowl team to you? I don't know. But Cooper Kupp had like 150 yards catching. I didn't see the first half of the game. I can't handle Chris Collins. I can't handle any of these analysts now. Collinsworth, Brady. Wow. Pathetic. Tonight, we've got San Francisco 4.5, 43.5, I think. I cross over it so many times. I do play this game. Rodgers against Purdy. This is let's see. Rodgers played the whole game. I think this will be a tight game. I think the Jets with Rodgers, I don't think they'll get blown out here. But they could. McCaffrey should be playing. So this should be a close game. Let's put it that way. All right, so I had a really good week. I had them up 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 7-2, 8-2. Not a bad start. The play against teams Carolina and Washington lost, or they won for us playing against them, Carolina. The play teams, Oakland didn't cover. Minnesota was good. Tampa was good. LA was good. Oakland lost. San Diego was good. And Seattle was good. So the play teams were 2-4, 6-1. The play against teams. They were 2, 3, 4, 7-1. Not bad. The teaser trend, the total teaser trends worked. Let's look at the teaser trend. So we had Baltimore as a road dog, wins. Green Bay as a road dog, wins. New England was 6-1 as a road dog, and Cincinnati was 7-1 as a home favorite. Play against Carolina, 17-0. Now it's 18-0. That was an easy one. Minnesota, 5-0 as a road dog, but that's not with Darnell. And I think the Giants were 15-2, but no, I think Minnesota's 15-2 in a teaser, last year. Oakland, 11-1 as a road dog. That broke trend. San Diego is 29-5 against. Okay. Play against home favorite Seattle, 16-1. Denver covers. Cleveland, play against road dog Dallas, didn't work. Cleveland 6-0 as a home favorite, didn't work. But Watson's the quarterback. He sucks, so keep that in mind. And he kept like rubbing his shoulder, like, "Oh, it's my shoulder. That's why I suck." Tampa play against Washington, 7-1, 16-1 overall play against Washington. So now that goes to 17-1, and that's it. Nothing on tonight's game. So all the teaser trends again, but they jump so much. So now we got to do a teaser trend. We can use Baltimore and KC. We got to see how Love. I think he's out. We'll have to check. Philly we can use. Pitt we can't. Atlanta we can't. Arizona we can use. Buffalo we can use. Buffalo usually blows out at home, so I was surprised that final. But the one thing is I knew it would be high scoring, and I thought Buffalo would score 40. The Bears should be a bet against, except for they played Tennessee. And what the fuck Will Levis is thinking. This is the problem. Make him your starting quarterback because he's got a big arm. He doesn't have anything up here. He's an idiot. He's getting sacked. He just flips the ball, and the guy interception, runs it back for a pick six. That's what I mean when I say they're smart. They're not smart. They can read a defense. They all have strong arms, but that's not separates. What separates you is your smartness. Mahomes has it. Burrow has it. Caleb does not have it, and neither does Will Levis, obviously. Cincy, we could bet on to get their heads out of their asses. Houston has got a year in with the coach quarterback. You can only go back. Jacksonville, you could use. Miami, you can use. Carolina, just keep betting against. New Orleans, this is their second year with Carr and the coach. They looked really. I knew that game. Jeez, I can't believe I didn't lock that game. Unbelievable. Minnesota, no. Darnell. The Giants, Daniel Jones. You could teaser trend that one. Just bet against. Oakland's new. San Diego's new. Denver's new. Seattle, new coach. Dallas, you could trend. Cleveland, not with Watson. Yeah, it's hard to trend Cleveland. Washington, no. Tampa with Baker, I think he's been there a year and a half now, so maybe you can use last year. Stafford, yeah, the Rams you could use. Detroit, Goff's been there, I think, with the coach 2 years now. And then Rodgers, no. And Frisco you can use with Brock Purdy and the wonderful, whatchamacallit, Kyle Shanahan. Terrible coach. All right. Let's look at week 2 of the NFL. Now, I put in the games. I put in my spread. I haven't looked at the regular spread yet. I don't want to do that. I want to look at my spread. So I purposely ignore the spread, put the teams in what I think they are, and then I go from there. So we've got I'll give you my lines. Buffalo at Miami Thursday night. Both teams are over teams. Now I can fill in the defense. I've got Miami -3, and I'm praying Miami's a 3-point favorite. I don't know. Miami disappointed with only getting 20 points yesterday, so we'll see what they do. We know Tag's going to lose because it's against a good team. Dallas, New Orleans, what a great game this is. I got Dallas as an A, New Orleans. I got them as a B, but they should be an A. I got Dallas -7 because it's like Alabama. They'll be over spread. Interesting game here. Detroit, an over team against Tampa Bay, a B team. Not quite an A, but a good team. Again, they beat who did they beat? They beat Washington. So you can't really give them an A status yet. Detroit over, no defense. I got Detroit -6. This is another playoff revenge game. It gets loud in Detroit. I don't know why these fans. I don't get the fans. I got Detroit -6. Should be about right. Green Bay and Indy now is Love the quarterback. If he's out, will they go to the Tulane guy? If they go to Willis, they're in big fucking trouble. Indy, they don't have anything. I got both teams as over teams. However, with Love out, is Green Bay an over team? Well, they're not going to score a lot, but they're still give up points. I got Green Bay -4, but this is a game. Who's the quarterback, right? The JETSs are at Tennessee. I got the Jets -3 as long as Rodgers stays healthy after the first week. Both teams are under teams. Great defenses. Tennessee, I don't know. I mean, they have Chicago 17-0, and then it's a block punt and a pick six, and all of a sudden they lose, and you're like, it had nothing to do with Caleb. So, like I say, I get the Jets -3. If Rodgers is healthy and everything looks good tonight, I mean that spread will probably go to 6 or 7. San Fran, an A team, provided there's no injuries tonight against Minnesota, who's clearly an under team. No quarterback. Jefferson caught 4 passes, I think. I don't know what kind of defense they have. So I got the Niners -7 there. New England and Seattle. New England clearly sucks. I got them as a W. Seattle I got as an over team. I don't know what to spread this at. I'm praying New England's favored because they beat Cincinnati. And I think they'll get lit up by Seattle in their offense, but we'll see. Washington, Z team. Giants, Z team. In Washington, I got Washington -3. They lost. What do you think happened to them? Kind of questions that. So Washington -3. The Giants. Both teams kind of suck. Danny DeVito should be the quarterback for the Giants. Just, Washington at home, they're laying 3. Hey, Pat, how are you today? San Diego, Carolina. If you have any questions, let me know, Pat. San Diego, I got them as an under team. Herbert looked okay. And Carolina is obviously the worst team in the league with the Z team. I got San Diego -6. They could be -10. I don't know. I don't love San Diego now, but we all know what we think about Carolina. Cleveland against Jacksonville. Cleveland is an under team. Great defense, Myles Garrett, but they're not going to win with Deshaun Watson. So we've got to see when the coach takes his head out of his ass. Because they're paying him a lot doesn't mean he's good and going to help you to win. You can't play Deshaun Watson. He stinks. He doesn't care. You gave him guaranteed money. He's laughing all the way to the bank. Doesn't give a fuck. His shoulder hurts or whatever. His neck is like Jacksonville. I got him as an under team. Trevor Lawrence is terrible. 17 points on Miami. They got a big problem, Jacksonville. So these are under games. So I got Jacksonville 3 because they're at home. Oakland and Baltimore, coast to the post. Yes. Baltimore, an A team, obviously. Oakland, an under team. Couldn't score against San Diego. Is not going to score against Baltimore. I got Baltimore -7 at home. Lamar showed his great passing ability at the end of the KC game. So Baltimore at home off of a loss. Oakland, I don't know. They're not that bad, but the coach doesn't know what he's doing. The Rams, I got them as an A team, Arizona an over team. I got the Rams -4. Let's see if Pukanuka's ready to go. Stafford did hurt his ankle in the game last night. I saw it. You weren't going to take him out in Detroit, but could be a little banged up. We might see Stenson Benson, but this should be a good game here. So, again, I get the Rams -4. Denver and Pittsburgh in Denver. Denver looks like an over team. Looks like their defense is sort of weak. Pittsburgh is an under team with Fields. I mean, he's terrible. I got Denver -3 because they're at home. Could be. Yeah, I'm great, Pat. Okay, Pat. Take care. Have a good day. So Denver -3. KC, Cincinnati and KC. Are you fucking kidding me? We know KC is the best team. They're the A team. Cincinnati, I don't know. They were a B team. If their defense plays like this next week, they're going to lose by 40. I got KC by 6. Yeah, we love Joe Burrow and we love Chase, but where's their defense? Where's their running attack? Where was their coach didn't show up? Well, we don't want to get anybody hurt. You didn't want to get anybody hurt like yesterday either. You fucking didn't play defense. You didn't run the ball. I mean, Joe Burrow threw for like 180 yards. I saw the yardages week 1 were very low. I don't think anybody had 200 yards. Maybe Mahomes probably did, but I think the Philly Green Bay game probably did. But a lot of the games yesterday, Tagliabue didn't and Lawrence didn't. There's no excuse. We don't want to get them hurt. Well, why did they play yesterday then? That's what I don't understand. Why did these quarterbacks play yesterday? Daniel Jones. They might get hurt. Jordan Love did get hurt. So is it better week 1 than the preseason, I guess? All right. I mean, KC's, they're going to kill him here. The Bears at Houston. Oh, the Sunday night game. We have to see Caleb throw for 95 yards. Bears are an under team, no offense. Houston is an over team, decent offense, no defense. Bears won't be able to do anything against Houston's defense. Look for them to blitz Caleb, 5-6 sacks. I got Houston -3, probably should be higher. And the last game, the Falcons and the Eagle, the bird game. Atlanta, no offense. I'm not sure if they have a defense. They were going against Fields. Philadelphia, the over team. They look like good scoring. Now, Love picked them apart. Cousins is not going to pick them apart. I got Philly -7 on the Monday night game. Now, the one thing you got to understand is who they played. You're looking at, okay, Dallas, Cleveland, and Detroit and the Rams. Then you're looking at like New Orleans killed Carolina. Well, that's like Ohio State beating Western Michigan. Does it really matter? So we will keep an eye open for the lines. So those are my lines. Where's my blue pen? I need my blue pen. I'll have to find it. It's here somewhere. Here it is. Okay. I'm so happy now. So that's pros. So I start with my line, what I think the teams are. I'll bring in the stats so I can analyze the teams so I can figure out. Now, by watching yesterday and no high school games like in college, I can pretty much know, who's got the good defense, who's got the bad defense, who's got the good quarterback, who's got the bad, who's got the overrated quarterbacks, and what's going on. So we got one more game tonight, and that'll cement things in. The Niners what is it? San Francisco's at Minnesota, and the Jets are at Tennessee. So it's tough. You're making the Jets play Monday night and then travel to Tennessee. It used to be a big thing. And the Niners got to travel to Minnesota after Monday. Normally, the Monday night team should get the home team, the home game the next week because they lose a whole day and a half. I mean, these teams have been done, Sunday afternoon, so they start resting up and healing up. So today they're sore, but okay, by Tuesday, Wednesday they're getting better. And the Monday night team, now it's Tuesday morning and they're going through what these guys do Sunday afternoon. So they're already 2 days behind. So it's a real difficult thing. It's even worse when they got to play a Thursday game. They're just starting to get healed. And then here they got to play Thursday. And probably they're all shot up. And then they get a week and a half off. Like, oh, that's supposed to be a good thing. Just keep the games on Sunday, you idiots. Thank you, Rega John. So I'll fill in now the quarterbacks. So we've got to learn is Deshaun Watson. And you wonder how good the coach is. And then you wonder how much the coach has the input versus the GM or the owner, right? Oh, the owner, I want Deshaun Watson out because I'm paying him. I want Richardson out there because he can scramble. And so you worry about, I wouldn't take the job if they wouldn't let me. Like if I was a baseball coach and I had to use a pitch count, I'd tell them to go fuck off. No, I'm not doing that. There's enough guys getting hurt. And by the way, I'm not going to worry about these curveballs that are hurting the guys' elbows. We're off of that. It doesn't work anyway, and all they do is get hurt. How do you hurt guys who pitch every fifth day? 100 pitches. How are these guys getting hurt? What are you doing? I mean, it's already minor league baseball, but what are you doing? So it's the same thing in football. You look at who it's like I'm doing the stats for college and like, well, wait, Western Michigan played Ohio State. So they're really not that bad when they're in conference. So you kind of mentally know, yeah, they got killed by Ohio State. So it skews their points. It skews the type of team they are. Like Western Kentucky got shut out by Alabama. Well, okay, then how are they against the normal team, right? So we will see. So anyway, that's the pros. Great day yesterday. So I go 3-1 of my locks. We hit Michigan under. We hit Nebraska over Colorado. We hit the Oakland San Diego under, and we lose the other game, the Cincinnati game. And I think picking locks sometimes gets frustrating when it's like I picked Cincinnati because New England sucks, and then I didn't take New Orleans, and Carolina sucks even worse. So I thought with Burrow back, I was getting the proper lock. Obviously, I did play New Orleans. If you got my picks, you won with New Orleans, but it's just there. But Cincinnati at home with Joe Burrow, I'm going to make that bet all the time anyway. How can you not? So it just happens. That's why I'm not Bernie Madoff. I can't go 100% because I actually do bet these games. I don't take other people's money and put them out there. So it happens. That's gambling. We hit Northern Illinois. I mean, so it ebbs and flows, and you got to realize it's a percentage, which I think everybody realizes. So college ball. I haven't posted the lines. I'm still going through the stats where I'm ranking the teams over and under. So let's look at Thursday's games. So I got Northwestern against South Alabama. Oh, who are they? Northwestern's an under team with the 16 defense. South Alabama is an over team with a 40 defense, which I'm trying to figure out if they played a high school team or not, but they didn't. They just played North Texas and they killed them. So then I'm writing down give me their offense. So South Alabama, strong pass because Major Applewhite's the coach. Fine. Northwestern, though, is a very strong defense. So they're going to struggle because Northwestern will blitz them, and he'll have a hard time getting the time to throw, which is what you're supposed to do against a passing team. I got Northwestern with a 16 defense, South Alabama with a 40 defense. Okay, so we're learning the teams. How we figure them out after that, we have to figure. But Um, we know South Alabama is mostly a passing team, and then Northwestern, they played Duke. Now, it was a double overtime game. The game ended 13-13, but then they both scored to make it 20-20, and then Duke wins 26-20. So really, it's a 13-13 game because I'm not counting the bullshit, stupid overtime. Whoever thought of that, wow, what an idiot. Yeah, let's play a whole game with kickoffs and 100 yards, but then you know what? We'll give them the ball at the 25. What the fuck is that? I let them kick it off and let them play. Or you want to fuck around and give them the ball at midfield. Let them earn a couple of first downs to score. This is not about if you're trying to finish the game, then just end it in a tie, right? Don't fuck around with it. The other game is Arizona State, Texas State. Both teams I have as A teams, but both are different. Texas State's in the lower conference than Arizona State, who's now in the Big 12. Finding Arizona and Arizona State, I'm like, well, they're not in the Pac-10. Did they join the Big 10? No. They're in the Big 12. Like, really? That makes no sense. So you got West Virginia and Arizona in the Big 12. Arizona State with the 15 defense and Texas State with an 18 defense. So pretty good defenses. Arizona State's mostly a running team, and Texas State's very balanced with a very good quarterback. So I haven't put the line down yet. I'll probably Arizona State -7, I guess. Again, I want to be blind to the real line. I don't want it misrepresenting my pick. I want to make the pick with no line, right? Like I did with New Orleans, 7 over Carolina. The line comes out 4.5 or 3.5. That's a fucking bargain. That's Christmas right there. So I'm trying to do it here. I'm trying to let me put the line down. When I get a wrong favorite is when I really jump on it. Now that's the point when I teach the class tonight is we talk about how do I choose the games? Well, that's how I do it. If I make my line -7 and they're getting 5, and I've had that happen a lot, I clean up on those bets because I know what the line should be. I know what these teams are. I know how good the quarterbacks are. See, I'm good at spotting the talent, which most people aren't. They look at the numbers. That's where you got people betting on how the fuck can you bet on Carolina yesterday? I mean, what in God's name were you looking at that you thought Carolina 3.5, 4 was a good bet? Did you think Bryce Young wasn't playing, or what is that? Now he's good because he played at Alabama without realizing anybody from Alabama sucks in the pros. Mac Jones, Bryce Young. So what are you doing here? So you got to realize the system in college they don't use in the pros. That's when these quarterbacks from Ohio State and Alabama and this Oklahoma USC coach, Lincoln Riley, it doesn't work in the pros. It's a run and shoot style. They don't play it. The defenses are too fast. You guys aren't wide open. You know, you got to be kidding. So do they have a decent defense? And what makes you say that, Greg John? I don't think the Patriots have a good defense at all. I don't think they don't have a good coach. They have a lousy quarterback. Cincinnati played terrible. They did not blitz. You watch, okay, so they have a good defense. You watch them against Baltimore. Are they in the same division? No, Baltimore's with Pittsburgh. You watch them against the Jets. I bet you the Jets shut them out. If Rodgers is playing and the Jets are playing well and they play New England, it'll be 24-0. They don't have a good defense. Anyway, so by making your own lines, you can see the other line. You can see the real line, and when you're really far out, like what was that? There was a 3. Oh, look at the Lion game. I had the Lions by 3. They end up going like 5.5, 6. They got lucky to win by 6. It was overtime, right? Okay, so they got lucky to score and didn't kick the field goal. I didn't care at the end if they would have kicked a field goal. The Rams would have had a chance to come down and kick a field goal, and I would have got my over that way. Okay, Vegas against Kansas. Now, Vegas has been playing very well. They're an A team with a 10 defense and a strong run game. Kansas is a B team. They got a 13 defense, but the quarterback stinks, and they're more of a running team also. Devin Neal's a very good runner. Vegas, without Maivia, is there. So this should be an interesting game. It's at Kansas. Kansas is probably the better team, but I hate their quarterback. He got hurt, and Bean came in, and Bean lit it up. But when Daniels is in there, he doesn't. He did a little bit early a couple years ago, but I don't know how good he is. And the last game is Arizona, Kansas State. Excellent game. Arizona with Fafita over team, great quarterback. However, they're a 25 defense and a great quarterback. Kansas State's an A team with a 16 defense, and they run the ball, which is their style. Should be a very good game. I think Kansas State's defense is going to be able to stop Fafita. Not a game you want to take Fafita in against this tough defense. You want to take him against the 30 defense. Like, I haven't got it all down. Let's see. North Texas. North Texas plays Texas Tech. I know North Texas is an over team. I can say that. Texas Tech is, I don't know. I see playing the high school team, they scored a lot, but playing but playing against Washington State, they didn't do anything. All right. Let me check something. Waiting on my guy for tonight. Let's check gold. Gold 2501. So we're okay. Silver is a joke. Again, this is a joke. This is not free market. The Jets will be very good if Aaron Rodgers is healthy. That's why they weren't good last year. They needed a quarterback. All right. So the Jets should be good. They got a good coach. They got a good defense. And they got Aaron Rodgers. They should be a playoff team. See, they can handle Buffalo and Miami because they don't have defenses. And that's the whole key to it, right? A good defensive team, it's like rock, paper, scissors, right? The good defensive team shuts down the good quarterback, the good offense. That's why you like Kansas City because they have the good quarterback offense with a great defense. And that's the A team that we look for and we win a lot of money on. And that's why it changes all the time, because we don't care what the team's name is. All we care about is where's the team that's good offense, good defense. And it changes all the time. That's how I win every year, because that's the system that you find. Good offense, good defense, let's bet them. Or good offense, bad defense, they're an over team, and we look for them. It's like match game. We look for the other good over team, and we get problems when we got good over team playing good under team. What do you do with it? So again, that's Thursday and Friday's college. That's kind of the thing. Arkansas State, Michigan. Michigan can't score. Their team sucks. Their quarterback sucks. I'm afraid their coach is in way over his head. Arkansas State's an over team with the 28 defense, a passing team. Michigan has a 275 of total offense. Now, granted, they played a good defensive team in Texas, but still 275 yards offense. And that's where this is the point I'm trying to get to. So you look at Michigan's stats, but then you realize, well, they played Texas and Fresno State. So you then realize, well, here they got Arkansas State. They're probably going to get more than 275 yards. Maybe not. But now, after this week, we have a real, true Michigan number. And then they can get ready to get their ass kicked by USC next week. Michigan is going to lose at least 5 games. And Michigan State can beat them. Oregon's going to beat them. Ohio State's going to beat them. And I think they play Washington, who's not too bad this year. They got the Arizona coach. They're going to have a good defense. And who knows if they're going to win the other games. If they play Nebraska, Nebraska kicked the shit out of Colorado. My student said, should I take Colorado in 17 points? I said, absolutely not. Nebraska's going to win. He wanted to play like a 13-team teaser and a 13-point teaser. I said, why would you go against the lock? What are you, crazy? He plays the locks. So anyway, I'm waiting for him for tonight. All I ask is pay me up front. I don't want to have the class and then go running after you. Oh, you owe me money for the class. So anybody wanting to join the Monday night class, it's a Zoom. I will email you $25. And I will email you the Zoom link to join, and you're welcome to join. He's fine with it, but right now it's just him and me learning how to pick the games and how to win and how to bet. Not what I'm going to do, like I just did in the pros, but only then I would say, here's the line, here's my pick, here's the team. Love's out or playing, and here's the pick, and here's the locks. And that's what, basically I'll walk through the games if you don't want to buy the picks. It's the same thing. Anyway, so Michigan off of a loss. So that's extra motivation. Florida State off of 2 losses, but they got oogly boogly. They don't have a quarterback. Memphis, pretty good offensive team, but again, they're playing a good defense. LSU off of a loss to USC, so they are fully motivated. South Carolina, pretty bad, but they just beat Kentucky, so we're not sure how bad they are, but they do have a weak offense. We're not sure how strong LSU is, so we're getting to Alabama's got Wisconsin, an A-team Alabama against really an under team. Wisconsin can't find an offense. They couldn't find it last year with the SMU guy, and they can't find it this year with Tyler Van Dyke. He's only thrown for 1 touchdown. So we will see. What the fuck's going on? Sorry about that. So, Should be, Alabama. They're just going to run it down your throat. It's funny, DeBoer, he scores a lot, but he's really a running coach. But he did have Penix last year. BC, Missouri. Missouri's a very good team this year. Very good quarterback. Temple. So if I look at the Z teams, and I don't know they got them all, but I got a bunch. So the Z team, I've got. What do I got? 4. I might have more. So I found at least 4: UMass, Temple, Tennessee State, and Jacksonville State. And it's funny, Jacksonville State looked like an over team, Rich Rodriguez, but they're not scoring, and they don't have a defense, just like Rich Rodriguez. We've got Washington State. They're both A teams. Washington's only given up 6 points a game. Washington State held Texas Tech down, so what you would think is an over game might be an under game. We don't know that's why you look at it like this. Maybe it's a 50. If it comes out 65, this is how a lock under happens. Tulane and Oklahoma. I believe it's Tulane. Oklahoma won 16-12 over Houston. Now you throw out that high school game when they won 70-0, right? That's why you throw it out. You see them against Houston, and it's 16-12, and now you go, that's Oklahoma, not against the high school team. Houston now has played 2 good teams. They lost to Houston to UNLV 27-7, who looks like a real good team, and 16-12. So Houston has a great defense. Their problem is no quarterback. So Houston looks like it's going to be an under team. This is how time travel happens. Notre Dame plays Purdue. Purdue played a high school team and had a bye. We have no idea what Purdue is. They scored a lot on the high school team, but I don't care. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. Very weak offense. Riley Leonard is terrible. And they've got a very good defense. Holding Northern Illinois to 16 was you watch. Northern Illinois will be in the 40s every other game. They got 300 yards of offense, which stinks. Okay, they played A&M, but you didn't score on Northern Illinois. Here's Purdue. It's a big rivalry game in Purdue, off of a loss. Again, we got to see the spread. You're hoping for a 7, maybe Notre Dame down to 1. But you can't trust Riley Leonard. They have the defense. They don't have the quarterback. They don't have the coach. Very difficult to get caught up in Notre Dame and get into what the team is. Rutgers are okay. They can run the ball. I've talked to you about New England. Nevada, Minnesota. This is curious. Nevada played a SMU tight. Now we're seeing SMU maybe isn't that. They barely scored on BYU. So I don't know what SMU is. I don't know why they're not a good offense, but they're not. Minnesota, good defense. So we'll see what Nevada. Oregon State. Oregon played an explosive game with Boise. And Oregon State, I don't know what they did. I haven't looked at them yet. So as I get through it, I start looking at week 1 and or week 2. If they played a regular team in week 1 and a high school team in week 2, I just look at the week 1 stats. If they do it the same way, I just look at week 2 stats, right? Some teams played both, but some teams played high school team and regular team. And then you get Purdue, who hasn't played anybody yet, just high school. West Virginia, Pitt, should be a very good game. Ball State, Miami of Florida. Are they for real? Ball State, we got to see which MAC team are they. I haven't gotten the MAC yet. App State, East Carr. App State got killed by Clemson. Had to be a lot of pick sixes. I mean, Clemson's offense can't score 60 points in a month. So I got to read the box score there. They should be pretty pissed off after losing to Clemson. This is like, okay, are we any good or not? And then they play better. Iowa and Troy. Troy's terrible. Iowa, I love that Iowa State beat them and the way they beat them. It was beautiful. Iowa, 10 defense. They play two real teams, so they got it, but they have no offense. They're trying. They have a good running back. Put it that way. Troy's terrible, but if the spread's 20, it's hard to play Iowa in the 20. So you're hoping for a 10-point spread, which I doubt you'll get here. But I would say 17, and then then we'll look for the under again, right? That's why I bet Iowa under, because you can't trust their quarterback and their offense to win like against Iowa State, but their defense is going to show, and it'll be a low-scoring game. So that's what you're trying to do. UAB, Arkansas, Utah State, Cam Rising. It was a very cheap shot. I watched the play in slow motion. He's going out of bounds. The guy's about to hit him, and he just runs out of bounds, and the guy pushes him into the Gatorade. Now, he should have protected his arm better, but his arm was sticking out, and it ran into the Gatorade, which was probably heavy. It was in the second quarter, so he's like running into a wall, and he jammed his fingers. It's not a serious thing. Alex made fun of it. I don't appreciate that, Alex. I think you're way out of line for doing that. He's injured again. Okay, great. Yeah, and CJ Stroud, yeah, he's fantastic. So, yeah, it was a real cheap shot because the guy was out of bounds by 5 yards, pushed him, didn't even get a penalty on it. It was really bad. So is he playing or not? I wondered. It was 23-0, and I was like, why isn't Utah scoring more? They should have won like 48-0. And because Rising didn't play. Their backup sucks. So this will be curious. Again, they got a freshman backup. And again, like, what are they doing? So Rising is just one of these quarterbacks. Gets injured a little bit, but he might be out a week. I mean, they'll be able to. I mean, I've seen quarterbacks throw with splints. I'm sure he'll be fine. So Utah plays Utah State, so we got to see. Ole Miss plays Wake Forest. Wake Forest. Now we know Ole Miss. Okay, they're an A team with a 3 defense because they haven't played anybody yet. They won by 55-3, whatever, against nobody. They're doing 600 yards in offense a game. Again, after Alabama, it'll go to 200, but that's what they got. Wake Forest is an over team with a 22 defense, and they're throwing for 5. They pass a lot, 500 yards of offense. This lines up to be a very high-scoring game. Now, let's see what the line is. Anywhere in the 50s or low 60s, it's probably an overplay. 70s, you can't play it. Even though it might get there. Ole Miss is just a passing team. That's all they're doing. UTSA against Texas. Now, how will Texas play after beating Michigan? They're going to be flat. They're at home. UTSA is terrible. So, again, they'll probably be laying 35. Let's see. Colorado's got Colorado State. Colorado State's not very good. They lost to Texas like 55-0. Colorado, we saw, is very weak. They just can throw Sanders Jr. They have no running. They can't block, and they have no defense. Nebraska basically ran the ball down their throats. So I loved it. The first score I saw was 14-0. Then it was 28-3, and I'm laying 1. So I felt really good in that lock. So we'll see. Colorado State, can they do anything on them? Georgia's got Kentucky. Georgia's got a 3 defense. Kentucky's a 15. Kentucky just lost to South Carolina 26-7. Weak offense, 240 yards of offense going against my Georgia team. I don't know if they'll get past the 50-yard line. This could be an extremely like another. I mean, this is a joke, this game. I mean, this is matchup versus matchup. You have a weak offense, Kentucky. they're going to get shut out against my Georgia team. So again, we got to see what the total is, or do we take Georgia? Because Kentucky's not going to do anything in this game. Their quarterback sucks. So we'll see. The line will make the thing, but we know what the analysis is, right? UCF, TCU, both are A teams. UCF runs for 400 yards a game, and TCU passes for over 300 yards a game. Plenty of offense here. Again, now UCF's got a 9 defense, but I don't buy it. Not against a good team, and TCU is a 13. Again, the high school games are kind of filtered in there, and that's why you take them out. But I understand that. It's already calculated in my head. So look for a big number here. Now, we'll see what the line is. See, the line dictates if you play the game or if you lock the game. This is 48. It's a lock. If it's 68, I don't play it. So we'll see what that comes in at. Indiana against UCLA sounds like a basketball game, right? Indiana's an A team, but they played one, Division I school. UCLA struggled with Hawaii. The game's at UCLA. Got here, UCLA passes for 300. Is that right? And then Indiana's a balanced team with a 500 offense. So they're explosive offensively. Now, the game's in UCLA. We might actually get UCLA as the favorite here because nobody knows Indiana except for yours truly. And UCLA is not very good this year. Their quarterback sucks. The coach doesn't know what he's doing. So we might have a strong play in Indiana if we get the right line. If they're favored by 7, we're fucked. If UCLA is favored by 7 because they're at home, then we have a chance. Kent State against Tennessee. Tennessee, A team, getting the 7 defense, killed North Carolina State. They're going balanced offense, 500 yards. Kent State lost to Pittsburgh by 60. I would assume this line will be 40. And that still might not be enough. We will see. At home, Tennessee's I don't know why that game was at Tennessee last week. It was supposed to be at North Carolina State. Was there a weather problem or something? Because North Carolina State was in the home uniforms, and I was confused that the game was at Tennessee. BYU goes to Wyoming. New Mexico State, Fresno State. We'll see Mikey Keene. We'll see the real Mikey Keene here. He'll put up 400 yards. So that's what we have superficially. Now I'm going to continue putting in what kind of team they are based on the stats, but also my skill set looking at, they played a high school team, or they played Alabama, so they're not that bad, or they played Ohio, like Western Michigan played Ohio State. Well, they're not that bad, but they played Ohio State, who is that good. We don't have Ohio State this week. Again, Michigan is in big doo-doo because they don't have an offense. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have a coach. They have a decent defense, which apparently against a good quarterback, they don't have a decent defense. Because what I saw Texas do, I didn't see that last year because they didn't play a good quarterback the whole year. The Big Ten was terrible in quarterbacks. Ohio State quarterback so bad, he's gone. And the Penn State quarterback never shows up in the big games. So he's out. Now he's better this year with the Kansas offensive coordinator. They didn't play anybody. Then they get Alabama. They get Milrose. He's not a quarterback. So they got very lucky to not. They did get Penix at the end, but the running back was out, and they just ran it down Washington's throat for 4 touchdowns. McCarthy didn't do shit. So that's what you have. You have a very weak Michigan offense with a apparently very weak defense that USC is going to shred, Oregon's going to shred, and apparently Washington will shred, and Ohio State's going to shred it. I mean, Michigan's gonna lose 6 games this year. I'm gonna love it because I don't like teams that cheat, and I don't like this. They got rewarded for having a terrible schedule, but because they beat Ohio State, who sucked, it's like the Lions. You've got to see who they beat. Okay, good win yesterday for the Lions, except for, by the way, Pukanuka didn't play. He got hurt in the game, and they blew a 17-3 lead, and it goes to overtime at 20. So, again, the defense doesn't show up. And, again, how to not play the guys in the preseason. I was hoping they would have lost, but I needed the touchdown to get the over. So that always takes precedent. Give me my bet, and hopefully the Rams will score. Okay, a lot of vampiring, Greg and John. All right, so that's what we're doing. So we kind of set the table. We will then put in the lines, my lines based on the type of teams. And then I will look at the real lines and I'll see where we have a huge advantage. And that's where we make our bets, and that's where we find our lock. The locks are 99% from the line. Nebraska 7 over Colorado. That was a lock because it was 7 and not 17. Texas, Michigan was a lock because it was 44. I think it was under 50 before it fell to 41. And that's why I bet early. So you're looking for that. You're looking for that on where the line makes the difference. It's a huge difference. The second. So the line makes the lock. Again, Oakland under 50, easy. The only game, and I had a good line with Cincinnati. I had it at 10. They were down to 7. I think I bet it at 8.5, keeping it under 3. And the line went down because of Chase. So how they lost, they were not prepared. The coach should be fired for losing a game that can't afford to lose. You lose to New England, who probably won't win a game the rest of the year. You got Kansas City coming up. So now you're going to go 0-2. You've got Burrow. You can't go 0-2. Now, we are in the back wings going, when Cincinnati loses to KC this week, they'll be 0-2. They'll have to win week 3. And then that's when you bet Cincinnati. You don't bet them this week because who the fuck knows what they're doing. I mean, Kansas City's going to just – it's going to be Mahomes is going to eat them up. They couldn't stop Brissett. What are they going to do against Mahomes? Are you kidding me? Now, I expect Burrow to play better because he's very prideful, and Chase, and they'll get it together. And T. Higgins better play or don't give him a contract. He wanted a contract. Fuck off. You play and you'll get a contract. And you're not getting and this guaranteed money. Look at Deshaun Watson. Guaranteed $200 million. The guy's like a high school player. He shouldn't be out there. You lost because you didn't play Thompson Robinson, but you're too stupid. Just like Carolina lost because they played their guy. Atlanta lost because they played Cousins. What are you doing? Are you playing to win or not? Or what are you doing out there? So that's your football. So again, excellent week. Very few losses. You're going to get losses because you're going to assume teams. You assume a team's an A and they're not. Or you assume an over and they're not. Like I said, I didn't play Pitt because of Russell Wilson, who didn't play. Had I known Fields was playing, it would have been an under for sure. But with Russell Wilson, he could get off and score a lot. Atlanta, terrible coaching. Why are you playing Why didn't you play Kirk Cousins in the preseason? He's never played with these guys. So you want him to walk into week 1. Or you want to lose week 1 so he doesn't get hurt until week 1. I mean, the whole process makes no. Look at Frisco tonight. They're going to be in big trouble. So is the Jets because these quarterbacks haven't played with these players. Well, Rodgers has. He played with them at Green Bay. These are Green Bay receivers. The um, the Purdy's played with his receivers last year, but he hasn't in the exhibition. So really, that statement's kind of weak because they did play with these receivers, but practice is not the same as game, and you got to go 60 minutes. It's not like an hour of practice. You're not running the whole time, right? The coach is yelling at you, blowing whistles at you, having you do 10 jumping jacks. I was watching North Dallas 40 and in the movie. What's the guy's name? The receiver. I can't think of his name. They're in practice and, they're doing jumping jacks and ready to go into their drills. And the coach says, well, he didn't do 10. You got to do it over. And it's like, you're going to waste time on that. Instead of getting into your drills where it's very meaningful, you want to waste time because you think the guy didn't count the 10. Are you out of your fucking mind? Sorry, I'm busy teaching. At least my phone's saying potential spam. On that one, he didn't say anything, but I can call that, but I don't know who it is. Okay, more vampire and Greg John. All right. So this is what you have. So again, they're wasting time with he didn't count the 10 jumping jacks instead of just going to the practice, which is what's critical. And then they lose the game. Well, yeah, you're fucking around with jumping jacks instead of getting ready for the game. Anyway, castor oil, very good for you. I put some on my foot and now I can walk fine. I don't know if it was a bone spur or the gout. Hard to say. See, what frustrates me is I made like a pound and a half of hamburgers, and I'm eating the hamburgers, and my foot's fine. So you want to tell me red meat's bad for it? And yeah, wait, I have red meat, so there must be a limit of red meat. Like, don't make my steak tonight. I did get a chicken to cook tomorrow, but the castor oil is very good. That salt, the Celtic salt that I showed you is I just take a little couple and put it there and drink. My back's fine. I feel fine. I feel very good. So that's a very powerful 182 minerals. And the cayenne pepper is very good. It is a blood thinner instead of aspirin because it's healthy. So now I'm putting, my omelets. I got cayenne pepper and this Celtic salt, and it tastes great. I mean, it really spices it up. Don't need as much spices on it. So anyway, that's the other thing. So now the key to football is figuring out the teams. How do I bet the teams? And you can't look at what I did last week to translate it into this week. So by figuring out the teams, over, under, and then making your own spreads, I'm laying 7, and then the spreads come in, and the spreads are way off. That's how you pick. That's how you can bet because you can figure that out. If you got a good line. The New England game, there's nothing we can do about it. Cincinnati did not. They played like shit. Coach should be fired. How do you lose to New England with Brissett and a new coach and the defense sucks, and yet Cincinnati looked like they were not prepared. It was like I said, it's like a test that you didn't study for. Go take this test. Go take this economics test, and you don't study for it. Yeah, I wonder why you flunked. Well, we didn't study for it. Well, that's what Cincinnati looked like. They didn't study, and they're gonna get their ass kicked by Kansas City. This is not the team playing like that. Now, were you looking ahead because it was New England and you were looking ahead to Kansas City? I don't buy that shit for a minute. You're going to have a big problem with that Worthy, the new receiver, and Kelsey and Pacheco and Mahomes and the defense. You ain't even in their class right now, Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's the only team that can beat them. Not now. Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they come out and beat them, and you're just shaking your head, going, "What the fuck's going on with Cincinnati?" They're a better team than they show, but this is week one, and that's what happens. We'll find our over-unders, and we'll find everything else. But you've got to identify the team. You got another defense and their offense and their quarterback, so it's all defense, quarterback, and the coach. I don't even know who Cincinnati's coach is, but he should be fired. He should have. I don't know how he ever got the job in the first place, but the guy's terrible. I mean, there's no excuse. You can't lose to a team like New England, who that'll be their only win of the year. Who are they going to beat? Buffalo, the Jets, Miami? Really? Okay. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so basically that's the look at football. So we learned from week one in the pros. Really, as I said, none of the quarterbacks should have played. Daniels, Caleb, they're in way over their heads. Daniel's okay. Bo Nix, he'll be better by week 5 or 6. You'll get a real Bo Nix. Now he's getting used to the speed. I'm sure he got, Seattle doesn't have much of a defense, but they did get 20 up. The Bears got 24 and none from Caleb. A pick six and a block punt. What is this, high school? Will Levis is terrible. So you're learning the quarterback. Most of the quarterbacks suck. Trevor Lawrence, terrible. And it's amazing is that they pick these guys like number one and they pay them like they're Joe Montana. They don't see that the quarterbacks they have suck. How do you not see Bryce Young is not even a good college quarterback, right? I mean, this guy is terrible. How do you not see that? You're running a company. It's called the Carolina Panthers, and you've got a quarterback that can't complete 10 passes. You're losing games by 50. You're not prepared, and you hire a shit coach. Well, he's a good offensive coordinator from the Shanahan tree or McVay tree. Yeah, well, it's like the Belichick tree. None of them could coach either because he was the defensive coordinator. Like McVay and Shanahan are the offensive coordinators. So what the fuck are you doing? And then they're trying to give the Miami coach all this credit. Well, what do you got? You got Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Tag, and you score 25 points. Or they got 20 points yesterday, so you give him an extension. Well, wait till they get their ass kicked by Buffalo this week. Jesus Christ. All right, Greg and John, enough with the vampiring. You're just repeating what I'm saying. All right, so we will look into the games. I got college studying. It's a lot. There's a lot of games. But once we get past like next week, and it's now 3 weeks in, one high school week, that's all they get is one high school week. And most of them, it's okay. They get blended in. So it's not too bad. And once you get that, then you go from there, and we'll see. So basically, that's where we're at. So we'll make our lines, and then we'll look at the spread. There's no reason to look at the spread unless I want to bet a game today for next week because I want to bet a total. So if there's an over I see, and it's only 60, and I know it's a good over, then I'm going to bet it now and lay 54. And you can see what happened with the Lions, although the Lions was there for probably till Friday, it was 51. Then it went up to 52, 53 at the end, and it didn't get there. But in the teaser world, I was over 45. So because I bet it at 51, now it's rare that it went like that. It's where that game, Pukanuka gets hurt or the Rams put up 40 on them. Uh, the secondary of the Lions was lost. That one guy, number 0, like how many pass interferences did he have? At the end, I was thinking the Rams should just go back to the guy and let him get pass interference. He can't, obviously doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he actually like took the guy and threw his arm down. So he kind of just hit his arm and pushed it down. What kind of coverage is that? Oh my God. So anyway, we will see. The new quarterbacks aren't ready for till at least for 5 weeks. Daniels will get better. Bo Nix will get better. Caleb, Bryce Young, forget about it. Levis has his head way up his ass with that interception. He doesn't understand what he's doing. You can't teach it. What are you going to tell the guy? He doesn't know to take the sack at this point after college and playing last year. He doesn't know to take the sack in a game you're winning. I mean, you can't teach that. He's an idiot. So we will see. But Trevor Lawrence, he's terrible. All you can say, 17 points on Miami, really? Wow. So keep that in mind. A lot of turnovers. So it will get better. But why the coaches refuse to play the guys in the preseason, they should all be fired because that is preparing the team to get ready, and you're not doing a good job. You're not a good coach if you don't play the guys in the preseason. You're an idiot. I mean, it's like, here's how you drive a car. No, we'll just go out and start. We'll do a driver's test, but you don't have to practice. How do you play without practicing anything? It just blows my mind. Anyway, I think that's it. Have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. If you want to join the class, send me an email. I'll send you the link. It's $25. I need the money up front, of course. It's a good class. It'll be, how do you pick and choose and everything else. So that's what we're looking at. Otherwise, I will come back with economics later. I'm going to go to the pool after having a little lunch and have econ, I don't know, about 3:00 or so. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com.